Naomi Klein, No is Not Enough, Defeating the New Shock Politics. Embark on a journey through the corporate-influenced political landscape with Naomi Klein's No is Not Enough, Defeating the New Shock Politics. This eye-opening book summary delves into the world of branding, revealing how it shaped Donald Trump and his policies. Understand how Trump's branding strategies have helped propel him into the White House while leaving a trail of controversial decisions. Gain insights into the origins and effects of the Shock Doctrine and the culture of disaster capitalism being cultivated by the Trump administration. With an overarching message of unity, grasp the importance of collective action and movements like the LEAP Manifesto in challenging the current economic system and creating a brighter future.
The power of branding in Trump's success. When Donald Trump won the presidential election in 2016, it was soul-crushing for those who had spent their lives fighting for women's rights and climate change. Understanding the world of branding is crucial to resist him. In the 80s, companies began to sell brands rather than products. This trend produced superbrands like Nike, Apple, and Starbucks. The brand's image became the key to the company's success, enabling these companies to avoid ethical business practices. Trump is also intimately familiar with branding since he is a brand himself. His primary business is real estate, and he heavily brands his hotels, casinos, and condominiums with the letters Trump. Eventually, he started leasing his name to other property owners and products. Trump's brand represents wealth, luxurious pomposity, and the idea that once you're rich, you can do whatever you want. Trump's branding strategy. The book discusses how Trump's presidency aligns with his branding strategy, where no matter what he does, he stays true to his brand. Trump's personal brand is shown to be immoral and unethical, with one of his popular brand extensions being The Apprentice, a reality TV series that promotes winners and losers. His promotion through professional wrestling, where lying is a part of the show, is also highlighted. The Trump presidency is seen as a marketing coup to increase his brand value, tied to an image of wealth and power. The high-profile job reveals vulnerabilities in his brand, with jokes that cast doubt on his wealth and power driving him mad. Trump's regressive agenda. Climate change, civil rights, and women's rights are all at stake under Trump's administration. His policies prioritize fossil fuels and undo progress made towards a more united and just society. By disregarding the Paris Accord, repealing the Clean Power Plan, and appointing industry insiders to key positions, Trump is moving the U.S. backwards. In addition, his administration has a history of sexual harassment accusations and racism. Trump's regressive agenda threatens to cause catastrophic climate changes, divide society, and undermine rights that many have fought hard to attain. The perception of billionaires in politics. During the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign, Donald Trump's wealth was seen as a badge of honor by his supporters. This trust in billionaires is partly due to the rise of philanthrocapitalism, which incorrectly portrays the wealthy as problem solvers dedicated to social justice issues. Furthermore, Trump's outsider status appealed to voters disillusioned with the political establishment. Ultimately, the choice of Hillary Clinton as the Democratic nominee showed that people wanted something new and different. The lesson for future candidates is that a more radical approach might be the key to success. The Shock Doctrine. The book explores the use of shock doctrine as a tactic by powerful leaders to push through unpopular policies after a disaster or crisis. It examines how this tactic was used in the U.S. following the invasion of Iraq and also highlights how President Trump and his Vice President, Mike Pence, have utilized it in their political careers. Following the invasion of Iraq in 2003, the United States created the Green Zone, a safe space within the city of Baghdad. It was within these walls that the U.S. Chief Envoy, Paul Bremer, launched a series of decrees to impose a free market economy on Iraq, privatizing state-owned assets. This was known as the Shock Doctrine, a strategy that took advantage of the chaos and fear of war to push through unpopular policies. The book delves into how this strategy has been used in more recent times, particularly by President Trump and his Vice President, Mike Pence. Trump's early days in office saw a flurry of decrees issued, taking advantage of the disorganization following a change in administration. This tactic was not new to Trump, as even in 1976, he had taken advantage of desperate times in New York City to force real estate owners to sell their holdings to him for far below their true value. Even Pence has utilized the Shock Doctrine, as in 2005, after Hurricane Katrina, he led a committee exploring pro-free market ideas that included making the affected area a flat tax-free enterprise zone. Overall, the book shows how powerful leaders have been using the Shock Doctrine tactic for their own gain, often at the expense of those who are vulnerable and suffering after a crisis or disaster. Trump's administration and disaster capitalism. Hurricane Katrina left New Orleans considerably vulnerable, and the city has since suffered from disaster capitalism. The privatization of its school system quickly became a reality, following on from the tragedies faced by its residents. Schools now follow the exclusive, private model that Trump's education secretary, Betsy DeVos, vigorously advocates for. The current U.S. administration is one that is open to instability, using shock tactics to promote its own agenda. With possible war threats concerning Syria, Iran, Yemen and North Korea rife, the administration has already taken action, most notably shown by the sending of Navy strike groups to the Korean peninsula. It's important to note that the U.S. invasion of Iraq highlighted that oil prices can be directly influenced by war, something that the Trump administration wishes to utilize. Both the Treasury and Secretary of State have previous links to Goldman Sachs and ExxonMobil respectively, and the current administration seems to welcome financial crises concerning banking regulations. Trump's risky shock doctrine. The article discusses Trump's risky shock tactics and compares them to past examples. The author highlights that shock tactics only work when the public is disoriented, and it can easily backfire if everyone remembers being exploited the last time around. The article provides examples of Bush's shock doctrine after September 11 and Aznar's failed attempt in Spain. Trump's shock tactics have failed to sneak past a disoriented public and instead have merely stirred up opposition. The article emphasizes the need to be ever more vigilant and come up with a new and better way, even though generations have come and gone since there was any popular alternative to the current economic system in the United States. LEAP Manifesto, a viable alternative to toxic corporate capitalist system. The LEAP Manifesto was created by Canadian leaders from diverse groups to provide a map for a happier and healthier Canadian society. It aims to unite progressive groups and shift towards a culture of taking care of one another. The manifesto recommends collective ownership of energy providers, transitioning to renewable energy, raising taxes on corporations and the wealthiest citizens, implementing a carbon tax, and reducing the military budget. The LEAP Manifesto can serve as a model for other nations, including those suffering in Trump's America.
Naomi Klein's No is Not Enough shines a light on the alarming interrelations between branding, Trump's political approach, and the rise of disaster capitalism. By grasping these factors and understanding how they interconnect, we can address and counter Trump's detrimental policies. Realizing that the world is in need of collective action and positive change, the LEAP Manifesto emerges as a powerful symbol of unity among various progressive groups and offers a viable alternative to our current system. Readers are left with a better understanding of these pressing issues and are encouraged to consider the LEAP Manifesto as a possible starting point for a brighter, greener, and more equitable future.